Hi, how you doing? I just want to preface this with I'm not a mental health expert. Heavy thoughts today, not me, just something seemed to dominate the day that was really quite unexpected. We got a call early hours this morning from a friend who just wasn't feeling it. Really wasn't feeling life. And it was kind of nerve-wracking. You know, just seeing life start to go up, only to see an emotional off the planet. And so, long story short, if you are currently going through a moment where you feel you are worth nothing, where you feel it would be better to just end it all, please don't. And I know that's not easy. I am not a trained mental health professional. I'm not a mental health expert. However, sadly, I have lost people. I think everyone knows someone, or through like 6 degrees, you know someone near enough any age who has perhaps taken their own life, died through unfortunate circumstances, car accident, motorcycle accident, medical thing, you know, cancer or whatever, or just passed away. The thing is, the latter of the group didn't necessarily choose to leave. Now, you could say some of them were perhaps taken before their time, but they still didn't choose to leave. Should probably also make it clear, it is never easy, no matter what the reason. Actually, I should probably also make it clear that for the longest time, I was someone who used to feel depression was really kind of stupid. Which, if you know me as a person, and people just randomly turning up wouldn't, I feel you have to appreciate absolutely everything you have, because it can always get worse. It can always get worse. That is not a great thing to say to people, but like, to find out years later that I suffer with clinical depression. I am constantly, near constantly bored. It is very hard to make the fizz happen and for me to keep it. It is very easy to just pull that away from me. It's a form of clinical depression, clinical boredom. But I'm also wired in that even if I am depressed, in some cases miserable, downright miserable, I still have a roof over my head. I still have food in my belly. You know, I still may or may not have my health. And if any of those things falter, I always fall back on, but I'm alive. Because not everyone gets to have the chance to be where I am right now. Because at the start, we all know someone that has, unfortunately, for one reason or another, not been able to continue this journey with us. And I would appreciate it if people chose to keep going if they were given the option to, because you only get one shot at this. Don't waste it. I know that there are times when people will be in the deepest, darkest pits of depression. I know. But you have to keep moving forwards, because it might be shit today for whatever reason. You know, you might have come up with a plan. You might have a time. You know, you're covering 2 of the bases of suicidal thoughts. Was it like a 3-stager? I don't remember what the other one is, but basically you have to the headspace, have time for it, a plan for it, and then the high risk, right? The thing is, it might be shit today, but the good things might start happening tomorrow, or they might start happening the day after, or the day after that. If you hard stop now, you'll never know. You could miss out on so much. And so, I'm asking, no matter how hard it may seem, just keep going. It's hard. It's difficult, I know. We have many a friend who you'd think by all rights, if you were keeping a score chart, they'd be happy, doing everything they'd want to do and being the best person they can possibly be, and they are still miserable. Folks I know who are on the streets who are happier than people I know in long-standing happy marriages. What you'd think were happy marriages or whatever, you know. I know people who have got serious health conditions. Days are numbered. Happier than people with good jobs, good pay. It's not always easy. And what is a big deal for you may not be a big deal for me, and vice versa. We can't just judge based on our own stuff, you know? So it's sometimes it's really hard to understand what's going through someone else's head, but I still just hope people choose to keep moving forwards. And it's also not easy, no one ever asks, it's also not easy for the people who are dealing with supporting those who have negative thoughts, who are in negative headspaces. It's not always easy to hear it. It's not always easy to listen. It's not always easy to empathize. It's not always easy to just be there to just boost. Because you start to take out your own cup. It can be exhausting, but keep going. I was talking to my mate Kai today, and Kai brought up a mutual friend of ours. Kai has just gone through a heart transplant. Touch wood. He's doing really well. He brought up some folks we know with depression, thoughts of suicide, and all that kind of stuff. I said to him, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go get it. I basically said, because I'm going to have to cut this down because this is huge. Basically the same kind of groove I said here. I said to him, you know, he can't go anywhere until everything is done, and I'm pretty sure we ain't done yet. We had a bit of a joke back in the day that he wasn't allowed to snuff it until after I went, and I ain't finished, so he has to stick around for quite some time as yet. I go, at the end of the day, man, I mean, I'm through the floor most days. I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking, a lot of the days, I'm just like, for fuck's sake, really, another one? But this is kind of a derpy way of looking at it. I've got better things to do. If you stop, that's it. It's over. There is no re-roll. There is no reset. It's just fucking done. So you have to keep going. You only get one shot at it, so why bother quitting early? The good shit might happen tomorrow or the day after. You don't know. Just push through. We mentioned about a time how I was through the floor a wee while ago, and one of my mates turned up. One of my mates who I'd normally be there to pick up, they turned up for me. And I said, at the end of the day, I just need everyone to live the best life they can, for as long as they can. Knowing that you're all still going makes me happy. I want to see what comes next. I want to see what you will do. I always say to folks that, like, life is basically a book, and you know, I don't have to be a main character, but if I'm penciled into that book at any time, I'd like to be there until as close to that final chapter as possible, because I want to know what happens. As much as I'm allowed to see, I want to see what happens. I want to see what everyone becomes. You know, because I think that everyone's got such great potential, but we're just always holding ourselves back. There's always something there. You know, my mate Kai, like I said, he has just literally gone through heart surgery, and he's got a million things he wants to do. Millions of things he wants to do. But then I also know some people who are living a reasonably solid life who can barely get themselves out of bed in the morning because shit just seems so heavy. And just keep going. That's it. That's the whole point of this video. Just keep fucking going. You might not want to get up the next day. You might just look at going to work and just be, you know, just sink to the floor. You might look at the bills piling up and feel miserable. Just keep going. Because there's always tomorrow. It could be better. You're still alive, so there's always time. Time's the one thing you have. Don't cut yourself short. I've completely lost track of where I'm going though. Since I pulled this, lost track. So, just don't do it. As dark as the days may be, sometimes, just keep going. Don't cut your story short. Live as best you can, because there are some of us who don't have the opportunity to. They didn't choose to go early. Or they didn't choose when they went. If you have the option, keep going. Hope you're well, and I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one. And if anyone wants to rant, shout, scream, cry, whatever, laugh and cheer, hit me up. Need something to shout at? Give me a call. Folks who know, just do it. And if you don't, just ask. Because I don't want to see anyone checking out early. It's no worth it.